What a weekend of rugby in the Six Nations. Round 4 has delivered. This year's competition has delivered. As painful as that is for me to admit as an England fan. Italy's joy, Scotland with the upset, Wales on the comeback trail. It's had everything, and we're going to dissect round 4 of the Six Nations here on the Republic of Rugby, which if you haven't already, and actually, there's a majority of people that watch who haven't yet subscribed. So come on, come and join the tribe. Get stuck in. Put a thumbs up on the video as well, and leave your thoughts down below. Jordan, how much did you enjoy that weekend of rugby?
Well, I enjoyed it so much that I actually picked up a new microphone. I don't know if you can see what I've got in my hand here. It's going to be okay, Tim. It's going to be okay. But what a weekend of rugby. You've been telling me for weeks and weeks.
Right, fair play. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, I've just cooked some Italian pasta, used my wooden spoon.
Oh, man. I mean, it's great for, do you know what? I can't help but step outside of my own, national pride. And my tummy was just churning and my emotions were raw on the full-time whistle. But what a great story. What a brilliant story.
Unbelievable. I mean, Italy's kind of been pegged as this team coming into the Six Nations by the man himself, Rassi Erasmus, as a team that really know what they're doing. And, I mean, they proved that making history against England for the first time ever. What was it? Is it 33 years, 35 years, or 33 fixtures that they've played against each other, something along those lines, that they managed to break history, and they were by far the better team last night. Give me your thoughts, Tim.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you just look at the statistics, actually, England looked better on paper, and England had loads and loads of opportunities. But what they didn't have was the magic, the X factor, the game breakers, and the absolute guts to deliver when it really mattered. And that guy, Tommaso Melancello, is an absolute superstar. He is unreal, and he's just turned 23.
Wow. Wow, no,
he might already be the best Italian player ever.
You think that far?
He genuinely. I mean, the other contender, the obvious one, is Sergio Parise. And by the way, I mean, how good would Sergio Parise be in this team? Because this is a team. This is a proper team. They've got set piece. They've got jackal threats. They've got attacking playmakers. They've got game breakers. Yeah, it's just. I'm so pleased for Italy, for the Six Nations as well, because I don't know how much you've watched in the past, but there were years where we were, fans of rugby up north were thinking, what is this team even doing in this competition? Now people might have to have that argument about England.
Yeah, how are you feeling as an English supporter? I mean, we came into the Six Nations building up this England-France game in the final week that was going to be for the title, the potential Grand Slam. Now England are staring down the barrel of a 1 win against Wales. France gets shocked by Scotland, so they can't win the Grand Slam anymore. It's almost opened up the whole competition. Scotland's opened up the whole competition. But I want to know, from an English fan, what's the feeling like in the camp at the moment?
I cannot speak to what they're feeling inside the camp. I imagine that they are absolutely gutted. And there was effort. There was lots of effort and attitude. It's just, I'm in a couple of minds. So on the one hand, I don't know how much you put this on the coach, how much you put this on players. And I think it's probably a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. We always want really simple solutions. I'll sack the coach, everything will be all right. And maybe that is what's going to actually happen, and maybe that will change things. I don't know. But like some of these guys, they look like they're scared. Maybe it's the fear of failure. I don't know, but they look scared. So rather than going out and saying, "Right, we've been rubbish. we're gonna make this happen," they look like they were playing to try and narrowly win. There was a moment in that match where I thought, we're 8 points up. 55, 60 minutes. We've got those guys on the bench. Bring them on. Finish the game. Kill it off. And we waited until the 73rd minute when we suddenly had to score before we put Smith, Pollock, Chesham, and these guys on the field. And that, I think, speaks to, and that comes from the coach, the fact that he was scared to lose, so didn't try and win. And I think it was there for England to go and win. And I think good teams put you away. Look at Scotland. They didn't sit on their lead. They went, we've got France on the ropes here, land the killer blow. And they scored those 4 tries in 10 minutes. Game over.
Yeah, England kind of looked like they were playing not to lose, where Italy were playing to win. And I think there's a massive mentality shift just from that statement. Yeah, like you say, England just lacked a little bit of energy, a little bit of... They almost looked a little bit lost, like shell-shocked, like they didn't know almost like where they were, how to deal with the situation. And what's the feeling like from sort of the fan base at the moment that you can read in? Obviously, you're an English fan, so what's is it Zach Borthwick or is it...
Yeah,
let's keep going.
Pretty much. I think that's pretty much everyone's thinking the players are great, the coach is dreadful. I'm not so sure the players are great. And I'm not just saying this, by the way. This isn't me just saying because England have lost a few games that the sky's falling in. When England were winning 12 games in a row last year, I was still like, I'm not 100% convinced. When you come up against teams, there's a lot of players that I would sort of think, no, I'd rather have the opposition player than our player. And like centre, for example, I think we're poor. Fullback, we're still going to Elliot Daly or Freddie Stewart in 2026. And scrum half after Alex Mitchell, big question marks. So yeah, I think there's a lot of areas. The depth of England's props, it seems to have got better, but so I do think there are issues with personnel. But I think probably the main thought from England fans is get rid of the coach, and I think they imagine that everything will suddenly be all right. I don't think that will necessarily be the case, but it's getting harder and harder to argue against a change at the top.
Do you think they're lacking a little bit of leadership on the field? Like, I would think back to the days of Owen Farrell. If he was in that situation, he would have pulled guys in, had a word, done something, got the boys hyped, where now you have Maro Itoje giving away a brain-dead, pointless penalty, getting a yellow card, and almost looking shocked that he got the yellow card. Who can bring that leadership into the start or the 23 guys on the pitch?
That's a great shout. I don't know who the answer is, but you mentioned Owen Farrell, who is someone that England fans really like, and I'm not suggesting now he comes back in, but the point is, over the last 2 weeks, after the performance to Scotland and Ireland, if Owen Farrell was in that camp, nobody would have had any doubt about what was and wasn't acceptable, and nobody would have had any doubt about what was going to be done against Italy. And everyone would have been on the same page because he would have absolutely demanded it, even as a player. And yeah, England are lacking. They're lacking generals. And Maro Itoje, I think he was almost trying too hard. He gave away a penalty just before the yellow card. I think he was just trying. He could sense that England were panicking, losing it, and I think he was just trying too much. But it was just a terrible, terrible call. But it summed up England's lack of leadership on the pitch as much as off it. I've got lots of problems, but I don't have solutions for you, Jordan, honestly, which is a worry.
Do you think there's a chance they turn it around against France next week? And if they do end up beating France, what's the overall sentiment of the Six Nations performance?
Two wins is not good enough. 2 wins is not good enough. There's a chance they beat France. I think it's unlikely, but there's a chance for sure. But 2 wins isn't good enough. So coming into it, it was the France game was like that could be defining because it could be a one to win a championship potentially. But I don't think anyone was expecting a win away in France. That's why France were favourites for the competition. So yeah, that Italy are really good. It's the manner of the performance actually. The international rugby is at such a great place. You'll know from Ellis Park last year against Australia. International's in a brilliant place. If you have a bit of a poor day, you'll lose because international rugby is amazing. But it's back to back to back poor performances, really poor performances.
And just sort of looking forward to the 2027 Rugby World Cup, that Italy-South Africa game, do you think in the next 18 months, as the months go on, it's going to build and build and build, and there's going to be a greater and greater chance Italy could potentially pull off a miracle? I mean, the only international team they haven't beaten yet is New Zealand. So they have it in their locker. They just dismantled England. Do you think that they could pull off the upset of World Cup history?
Yeah, I mean it's possible, isn't it? And they're a genuinely really good team. I think South Africa would have to play well below their capability, and Italy would have to have a 9 out of 10 performance for that to happen. But absolutely, it's possible. But as an Englishman, I'm looking at it and going, "Oh, I was sort of already planning who would our quarter final be." But Italy in the round of 16, if they do lose to South Africa, don't really fancy that.
No, definitely not. Sorry, I'm laughing at your expense, but it's just too good. The script has been too good over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but just on that bigger picture, I'm really interested. Like you've watched the Six Nations avidly this time, and I think a lot of people in South Africa and in the Southern Hemisphere have watched it a bit more intently because of the Nations Championship that's coming. But what have you made of the competition overall?
I think it started slow. There weren't too many big upsets. I think this week is the perfect week to advertise Six Nations rugby, because you've got France, who are absolutely flying, have decimated Ireland. You've got England, who are sort of like needing to win. You've got Italy, who have never beaten England coming into it. And then all the upsets happen. Wales seem to have found some form and how to play rugby again. So all of a sudden, you've got 6 teams that can all beat each other on the day. So I think this week is an incredible advertisement for Six Nations rugby. I would say the weeks before, maybe not so much. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to subscribe to the Six Nations from here on out. But I think it's also special, and we touched on it in the preview to the overall Six Nations, is the atmospheres and the crowds. And because the teams are so close, I found that the atmospheres, what it looks like through the screen, is that every single stadium is absolutely bouncing for any of these matches. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it. What have you sort of taken from it, from that atmosphere? Have you felt some more fan buy-in than normal, or has it declined a bit in the north?
No, you've nailed it. You've absolutely nailed it. And I'm really glad that you have seen that, because I could imagine a lot of people in the South who hear people talking about how great the Six Nations is, and I do think it's the best annual sporting competition in the world. That doesn't mean I think these are the best 6 rugby teams in the world. That's not the point. What makes the Six Nations amazing is the history of it. It's been going since the 1800s, and the rivalries and how close in proximity all these countries are, so that there's lots of families that are divided, split loyalties, and that just makes it really, really special. And yeah, I think it comes through. The fact that the French national anthem was sung so loudly with all those French fans in Edinburgh, and then you followed that up with Flower of Scotland, that just summed up what the Six Nations is. It's those cities, and we'll have to get you properly up north next year's Six Nations, Jordan, for like a day out in Edinburgh and a day out in Cardiff on a Six Nations day is, well, anywhere, any of the cities is so special.
They will definitely put that in the calendar. Tell me, Scotland, best team in the world? Yes or no?
Yeah, that is legitimately the best I have ever seen a Scottish team play, and that is not just. I've had 20, nearly 24 hours to sort of come down from that amazing match, 90 points in the game. But I don't think it's an exaggeration. That's the best I've ever seen a Scottish team play, and they did it with expectation on their backs. They'd beaten England. They could set up a Triple Crown and potential championship match against Ireland next week, and they delivered, and they were even better than they were against England. And the way that they just, in exactly the way that England didn't, the way that Scotland just showed absolute bravery and guts, just to go, we're ending you, we're not just going to win, we're going to humiliate you. And it was so good to see. But I think that's, Scotland have got unreal players. Their back line is world class. Yeah. I didn't know that their forwards could do the job that they did, but they were amazing, weren't they?
Yeah, talk to me about that breakdown, because you're a flanker back in your day. It seemed like they were just getting the ball out too quickly for France to counter-ruck or try and disrupt the ruck. Like, it was just rapid. France looked up and the ball was gone. Is that how you think the Scotland forwards got through the power of the French? And do you think a lot of people are going to be looking at that game specifically, the tactics that Townsend has used for these bigger packs like France, like South Africa, like your Samoas, your Tongas? Do you think that people are going to study that game and how Scotland played against France and use it against other teams?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. I think they kind of out-Frenched the French, actually. That was one of my assessments. So Scotland didn't play too much in their own half. They played in the right parts of the pitch. But the second that they had quick ball, or the second that someone got beyond the gain line, or the second that someone managed to get an offload away and defence was retreating, Scotland were just like, right, now it's go time, go. And they would like Ben White was brilliant, just getting the ball away from the breakdown. And it was 1, 2, 3 passes, getting to edges. But they did it when it was on. And they seemed like they were playing what the picture in front of them was telling, and everyone had this hive mind. They were all reacting. And that's actually that's when France are at their best. That's exactly what they do. So I don't know that you could just copy and paste what Scotland did, because actually I think Scotland's players, unlike England, were seeing the picture on the field and reacting in the moment.
Yeah, 100%. If you're France, is this a big red flag or just a little stumbling block? Was it an off day for them? How do they are they going to bounce back against England, or do England now have a better chance? What do you think France's mindset at the moment is? Because they've been so dominant the entire Six Nations, and they get absolutely clattered by Scotland.
Yeah. Well, they got starved of the ball because Scotland had 70% possession practically, and they won all the aerial games. So, I mean, that's England are going to need to do that. Well, I don't think England can have that sort of possession as comfortably as Scotland had it, but they can win the aerial game, and they took away loads of the opportunities for France to attack. So, kind of France didn't have the chance to put their game on it. Their discipline was really bad. Great players that had looked great in the tournament. Olivon suddenly had his worst game for ages. A load of players didn't really deliver, but they weren't allowed to. So I don't think England can starve France to the ball like Scotland managed to. So I think we're going to see, what I'm expecting is a very, very angry French team out for revenge, and they're going to take it out on the English.
Yeah, poor England. I mean, they've just come off a loss against Italy, and now they have to go face France.
Mate, I know it's bad when you're feeling sorry for England. We're in a bad way if you're feeling sorry for us, mate.
Oh no. And then talk to me about Wales, Ireland a little bit. I mean,
I thought you were going to say because the next England game after France is South Africa in Johannesburg. I thought you were going to say talk to me about that. I don't want to think about that now.
No, it's not all about us South Africans. It's
I might have to cancel my flights. I might be washing my hair that day.
It's so good. It's so good. So Scotland have a real chance of winning the Six Nations. If England can do Scotland a favour,
yeah,
Scotland beat Ireland, Scotland will win the Six Nations.
Hey, that's you know what? You just given me an upside. You just given me an upside. Like Scotland and Ireland fans are going to be cheering for England. That never ever happens. I'll take it.
Wales, Italy beating Wales. That'll be their best Six Nations ever. Wales away from home.
What was it? Was it last year or the year before they got 2 wins and a draw, which was their best ever, and 3 wins would be phenomenal. It's amazing. But then Wales, they're getting better and better. So we were thinking that was a wooden spoon decider. Yeah. Jordan's wooden spoon. You were going to be getting that out for Wales, Italy, but who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? If Wales win, because that's the other great thing about a Super Saturday is the way that the games are arranged, and I think Wales Italy's the first match. I think
second.
It's the second.
Ireland, Scotland.
Okay.
Ireland, Scotland.
Okay, Ireland, Scotland. So we'll know who is top, and then we'll get the. Will it be Italy's best ever game, ever Six Nations, and that'll be a great moment if they win. If Wales win, then England will be bottom in that final game against France, and it could be England trying to avoid a wooden spoon, and France trying to win the championship. Oh,
6
from
weeks
from a Grand Slam decider to that.
6 weeks make such a difference. When last has England ever been the wooden spoon in the Six Nations?
Not in the Six Nations, no. We finished 5th before, won 2 games, but never only won 1 game and never finished bottom. Never.
Wow. So 6 weeks ago we thought Grand Slam. Now it could be a wooden spoon. That's insane. So I see, but now I'm torn. Must it be a Welsh supporter or an Italian supporter?
It's a
Because I
win-win.
mean,
For us neutral, it's a win-win for neutrals. If Wales win, it's amazing for them, and it makes England France all the more fun for a neutral. But if Italy win, then it's the best ever Six Nations, and how good is that?
that is good. So I'm assuming you're not going to Paris for this wooden spoon game.
Thank goodness I'm not going to Paris. I really thought about that one. I nearly booked it all up. But I did so much traveling last year that I actually thought, you know what, I'm gonna spend a bit of time with the family during this Six Nations and just kind of watch it from home. And I'm so glad I did. That was the smartest move I've made.
Looking forward, we've got 1 week left. England hopefully not finishing bottom. France looking eager to win it. Hopefully Scotland or Ireland can upset that party. After the Six Nations, what are we going to do in April? Because we kind of come off this massive high of the Six Nations. What can people expect in April?
Well, but we're probably going to have a couple of weeks of debating who England's next head coach should be. That's probably going to be what we do for
That's true.
for the rest of March and April. To be fair, the way things are going, so we'll see. But that's a good question. We'll have to get our thinking caps on. I mean, it won't be long, will it? And we get a bit into April, and suddenly you're getting excited about June and July.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, your rugby season started. I know you can just tell us about your match-winning conversion for the next month.
Yeah, that episode's going to drop first week of April, but yes, it was very, very special. I'm going to save it because we filmed the whole thing. We're going to make like a whole documentary about it. It's going to be very, very cool.
Oh, was I not meant to give away the outcome? Mind you, Chasing the Sun was brilliant, and you knew who won, so that's fine.
No, and also people who've made it this far in the episode deserve a little teaser, sneak peek.
Agreed. Well, I can't think beyond this next week. Nothing exists beyond this next week.
I feel so bad for you, my friend.
Oh man, do you know what? But
I'm laughing as well.
Hey, look, you've been spoilt. Yes, obviously there were really horrible times for South African fans. You know, go back 10 years, it was not a fun place to be. But you've been spoilt for the last however many years with just success. But actually, the feeling this right now and having these experiences makes our inevitable comeback, resurgence in form and victories at the Rugby World Cup in 2027. It's going to make that all the more satisfying. That's what it was like in France. I went to France with no expectation, thinking we're just here making up the numbers, and we so nearly got to a World Cup final, and it made it all the more fun. The fact that England were a total basket case before it. So I've still got faith we can do it again.
I love that for you. I absolutely love that for you. And who knows, maybe England beat the Springboks on the 4th of July and this is completely switched around and you have the wooden spoon in your hand.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll be there as a sleeper agent to try and get into the hotel and poison the South Africa players, give them food poisoning or something like that so England can actually win. But that's a conversation for another day. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can say that publicly.
I really hope none of them do get ill now. I'll be right.
So let's wrap this up before we incriminate ourselves.
Yeah, quite. Subscribe, please. If you feel sorry for me or you feel entertained by England's demise, then I don't mind as long as you subscribe to the channel and help build the Republic of Rugby. Be part of the Republic of Rugby and get your thoughts in the comments down below. And we'll see you next time.